Hello everyone, my name is Mike, and this is how we do it on TheBoredCyborg. Welcome back to yet another episode. Today I'm doing a What's in the Bag, which is my version of the movie collection, DVD, video game, Blu-ray, VHS, comic book, graphic novel, everything like that, and I show you guys what I've picked up in those categories over the last month or so, and let's jump right in. I'd love to know what you guys have picked up over the last couple weeks or month or whatever. Feel free to leave that down in the comments below and we'll get a little discussion roll. Let's jump right into what I have picked up as of late. A lot of these I've had sort of sitting in my to-go-through box for quite some time. Some of them are newer than others. I have a bunch of comic books this time around that I will save for last. Some cool stuff. At least I think it's cool. Not in any particular order, I don't think. Nope. Maybe it is. DVDs and then Blu-rays and then the comics. Let's go. Gundam Wing Endless Waltz. This came into the store, the bookstore that I work at, and I've heard many a good thing about it. My good friend Anthony is a big fan of Gundam, and from what I've seen of Gundam, I really enjoy it. This is apparently one of the movies that came out in like 87 or something like that, I want to say. 80 doesn't say on the back. Love the convenience of not putting it on the back. Now, I just noticed it has some weird... It's got like a gloss to it, so it kind of sticks to the plastic, it seems. I don't think it's water damage. No, it's not water damage. It's like got a refractive sort of look to it. Very cool artwork. But I've heard really good things about Endless Waltz, and I think Char's Attack is another one of them. I think that's a Gundam movie. I am not an expert. I'm just getting into this stuff, but I really enjoy what I've seen from Gundam. Gundam Endless Waltz. Next up, this one I got at Salvation Army. A couple months ago, I want to say, when I was sort of in the area and they had just opened up, and I wasn't filming at that point yet because I wasn't really comfortable even with going into thrift stores at that point. Still kind of am not, to be quite honest, but I try to stay as safe as possible with a face mask and with hand sanitizer. But this one I found, and I thought it was kind of cool, and it was sealed. I'm not a big Alvin and the Chipmunks fan by any means, but this has... It's a horror Alvin and the Chipmunks, so of course I had to pick it up. Alvin and the Chipmunks meet Frankenstein, and they also meet the Wolfman. So it got me. I mean, you got the classic Universal monsters. I'm in any fashion. I don't care what it is, especially if it's something cool like an old school cartoon like Alvin and the Chipmunks. So I'm hoping these are pretty fun. Have you guys seen these? Were they worth picking up for like $1 both on one DVD? I figure they're going to be kind of fun. Maybe I'll bust them out this October. We shall see. Next up, we have Petticoat Planet. Little story real quick. The guys and girls at the bookstore that I work at know me very well at this point. I've been working there for about a year. I'm very vocal about my passion, about my love for cinema, obviously. And I walked in one day, I think it was a Monday, I'm off the weekends, and then I walk in on Monday, and this is sitting on the hold shelf, and it has my name on it, and it said something along the lines of, looks like a Mike movie. Looks like a Mike kind of movie. And I was like, it sure is. This is a full moon, actually. It doesn't say full moon on the back, but David Dakota executive produced it, directed by Ellen Cabot. So that's pretty cool. Female director. This film is from 1995 and seems very sexed up. Girls with guns on another planet. I have no idea what this is about, but I'm sold. Look at that cover. Look at the exploitation goodness of that cover. This looks like it's going to be kind of fun. Hopefully it is. I know nothing about it. Let's read a little bit. Commander Steve Rogers. Steve Rogers. A blue-collar space jockey with a lousy job crash lands his corroding craft onto a desert planet, but his luck is about to change. As he recovers, he finds himself in the only man in a wild western town inhabited by beautiful gunslinging, whiskey-drinking women. Okay. I think that's all I need. I'm in. Next up, we have an Alejandro Amenabar film here. A psychological thriller that I've been wanting to check out for many years. That is Open Your Eyes, or Abre los ojos. Abre los ojos. Sorry, I'm a little rusty with my Spanish. I haven't practiced in a while. But Open Your Eyes, is that Penelope Cruz, Eduardo Noriega, So 2 actors that have broken into Hollywood, broken into American films. This is supposed to be a really solid psychological thriller, and I know nothing about it, which is the way I prefer it for films like this that I'm really looking forward to, that I have been looking forward to for quite some time. I'm going to go into it blind and hopefully be surprised. That rhymed really well. Open your eyes. Woo! Next up, we have a set that came into the job that I had to own. I don't know anything about these movies, but I know it's one of the biggest series of films out there. I mean, this series, Tarzan series, has like 20 plus films, probably closer to 30 at this point, ranging from like the 30s or 40s up until modern day. Now, this guy, Johnny Weissmuller, I believe that's his name, Johnny Weissmuller, plays Tarzan in a bunch of these. I want to say like at least 10 of them. It's just like a serialized movie franchise. They were pumping these out in the 40s. This one includes Tarzan Triumphs, Tarzan's Desert Mystery, Tarzan and the Amazons, Tarzan and the Leopard Woman, Tarzan and the Huntress, and Tarzan and the Mermaids. So, sounds like it runs the gamut. Let's see, Johnny Weissmuller swoops into the last 6 of his 12 adventures. Cool, so he was in 12 of them. There it is, right on the back. So I'm looking forward to this. I don't know how these films are going to hold up. I don't know if I'm going to enjoy them. I think I will. They're just hopefully going to be fun, adventure, action sorts of films. And I feel like it's a gaping hole in my genre film knowledge. It's a series that's been going on for so damn long, and I've not seen any Tarzan movies except for the Disney one, I want to say. I think there's a Casper Van Dien one that I have seen. There's a Christopher Lambert one called Greystoke. Anyway, Tarzan, Johnny Weissmuller, 6 of his adventures here. These sets are hard to find, or not hard to find, but they're pretty expensive. They were out of print for some time. I don't know if they still are, but pretty cool. I figured I'd show you guys there. But yeah, this came into the job and I couldn't pass it up. I am happy to add it to the collection. The Tarzan Collection. Volume 2. I'll have to track down Volume 1. Next up, this one also came into the job, and it's Van Damme. Until Death. Have any of you guys seen this one? I have not. I'm not expecting much from this. This is a latter-day Van Damme film, but it's not too late. It's 06 or 07, it says here on the back. Directed by Simon Fellows. I feel like I know that name. Maybe I'm bugging. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I've seen something that he's directed, maybe not. JCVD, I want all of JCVD's movies. It's a very simple thing. I'm a completionist, especially when it comes to some of my favorite actors of all time. JCVD is one of those. And yes, I'm going to do my retrospective covering his later career at some point, my second part of his retrospective. I just need to collect all the films and sit down and watch the damn things. So that may be a grueling task. I don't know. From what I've seen of his modern stuff, it's really not that bad, especially when you compare it to another action star who's still making movies, like 73 a year, Steven Seagal. That's an argument. That's a conversation for another day. But Van Damme, Until Death. Looking forward to checking this out at some point. That's my motto. Checking this out at some point. All right, now we're getting into the Blu-rays. Some pretty cool stuff here. Want to give a shout out to my buddy John. You know who you are. He comes into Pauper's Books and trades in some pretty cool stuff that usually immediately goes home with me. He brought this in, Stranger Things, and it's the really cool VHS style. Look at that. How cool is that? VHS style Blu-ray collection. Now I want to say, pretty sure this box, the dimensions of this box are a little bit off. I think VHS boxes are slimmer. I do recognize that there were some oversized boxes. Maybe that's what they were going for. Now, I do want to crack into this, and while I do so, I'm going to sort of talk about my feelings on Stranger Things. Now, this show came out to wild fanfare. People went crazy for this show, still are, but when this came out, it was all over the place, and everybody and their mother urged me to watch this show. I heard from multiple people in my family and my friends that, Mike, this show is made for you. It's John Carpenter. It's Stephen King. It's super 80s. It's made for you. You're gonna love it. And I sat down and watched 4 episodes of it over 3 or 4 nights, and I liked it. I liked it well enough, but I didn't continue. I know. Don't hurt me. Don't hurt me, everyone. I don't know what it was, guys. I just couldn't get into this show. I'm pretty sure one of 2 things. So I guess I'm a bit of a contrarian when it comes to popular things. I like to let the hype die down and then watch it, sort of unblemished by others' opinions. And also, I'm pretty sure it was overhyped for me. People just were positive, were sure that they knew who I was and knew I was gonna love Stranger Things. And I watched it and I was just like, it's good. It's well made. It's got heart. I didn't really get to the good stuff, I guess. I gotta give it another go. And that's why I picked up this Blu-ray set. I figured this Blu-ray set is awesome. I did think about it for a second. I was like, am I gonna try this again? Am I gonna watch it? Yes, I'm gonna watch it again. So that is how I feel about Stranger Things. I think there's 3 or 4 seasons now. Look at this. Isn't that so freaking cool? So let's crack this bad boy open. Got a couple discs there. What do we got here? We got a poster. Might as well open it up for you guys. That's pretty sweet. I didn't see any of this goopy Lovecraftian stuff in the first 4 episodes, which is fine. I'm all for build-up, and it's a show, so it has to take its time establishing the characters and everything. Limited edition poster, Friends Don't Lie. And what do we have back here? We have the DVDs back there. So the Blu-rays and the DVDs. Pretty cool. Unnecessary for me in terms of the DVDs, but pretty cool, guys. I'm going to give this another whirl at some point. I promise. I am sure of it. I'm trying to get more into television because TV shows are cinema, right? I'm currently watching a show that I plan to talk about in more depth in another video, but that is Stranger Things. Next up, Mosuda. Mosuda. I don't know the rest of the words, but I know Mosuda. Mothra in English. Mosuda in Japanese. I prefer Mosuda. I don't know. I like both. But you know what I mean. So I picked this up about a month ago. I showed it on my Instagram. I always shout my Instagram out. Forgive me. Shameless plug. Instagram.com/TheBoredCyborg. Follow me there. I usually post at least a picture a day. Pickups, cool things that I'm watching or doing, or even like nature pics and pics of bugs and cool things like that. Because that's just me. Anyway, Mosuda, I finally picked up on Blu-ray. This had been released, I think, earlier in the year, or maybe late last year, by Mill Creek, who did a really great job with this set. I bought this for like $10 on Amazon. I don't think it's changed in price at all since it's come out. Mill Creek does a good job with the packaging here. It's a steelbook, guys, with a really cool slipcover. This is such a great set for $10. Look at the art on the slipcover. Oh, it is gorgeous. Just gorgeous. Open it up, show you guys the disc and the interior. Wow. I am thrilled to own this on Blu-ray. Now we need Rodan on Blu-ray. There are a bunch that we need on Blu-ray, like Rodan, War of the Gargantuas, Frankenstein Conquers. Oh my god, what am I? You guys know what I'm talking about. Frankenstein, Conquers the World. Jesus, it took me a second. Sorry. I've seen all these movies. But anyway, Mosuda, I've yet to watch this on Blu-ray. I did crack it open just because I was so fascinated by the packaging. Love Mothra, one of my favorite kaiju films, hands down. Love this movie. It's up there. I'd say top 5 of the kaiju movies that I've seen. Absolutely adore this. Love the island twins, the Mothra twins that do the song Mosuda. It's so good. I love it so much. Great effects. You guys know kaiju, man. Mothra or Mosuda. Next up, another one that landed in the store from a trade-in, The Mule. I don't know much about this movie besides Clint Eastwood directs it, stars in it, and plays an aging drug runner, or maybe he's a drug runner that doesn't know he's running drugs or something. I don't exactly know. But based on the title, based on what I do know of the film, it has to do with drug running of some sort. And it's Clint Eastwood. I think he's a solid filmmaker. He's hit or miss for me, I gotta be honest. Some films like The Gauntlet I just don't like at all, which is weird. And then other films like Gran Torino and Unforgiven, I absolutely love. So The Mule, I'm hoping, leans more towards the absolutely love side of things. We shall see. Clint Eastwood's The Mule. Next up, I wrote a whole review for this film over on my Letterboxd.com/TheBoredCyborg. And so feel free to read that because I get very in-depth and wrote a full review on this film. I loved Color Out of Space, guys, with Nick Cage, directed by Richard Stanley. To make it short, I loved the weirdness of this film. I loved how Stanley took something and that was arguably unfilmable in terms of the story, which I read the same day that I watched the movie, and turned it into something very palpable, very powerful, very colorful, and very existential, just like Lovecraft would have liked it. And, you know, it's got these neon colors that are sort of iridescent and are the color out of space. The color out of space is about this thing that comes to our planet and holes up in a well and starts changing the environment around it. It is some alien entity from another dimension, another planet, whatever it is. And it just starts changing things and driving this family absolutely mad. And it's awesome. Cage's performance seems a little off at first, but sooner or later, the story, the madness of the story, and the quirkiness of Nick Cage as an actor sort of become congruent. And it sort of rolls on until it just makes perfect sense why Nick Cage is in this movie. The narrative and his performance sort of align as the more and more as the story goes on. And I go into depth on my review, so please feel free to read that review. I put a lot of time into it, so hopefully you guys enjoy it. But this movie, absolutely loved it. 4 out of 5, one of the best Lovecraft adaptations out there. I hope Stanley and Cage tackle another Lovecraft unfilmable story. That would be amazing. And it's so great to see Richard Stanley come back in the director's chair after the travesty that was The Island of Dr. Moreau. John Frankenheimer took over, of course. I like the film. You know, what remains of the film. I don't hate it like most people do. It's a mess, don't get me wrong, but it's kind of a fun mess. And so he comes in, 23 years later, into the director's chair and brings us Color Out of Space, and it was awesome. I have my gripes, but I won't get into it now. Color Out of Space, man. Great movie. Can't feel my Legos. Alright, I saved some very cool ones for last in terms of the Blu-rays. The Disney Movie Club. Do your homework, and then apply for the Disney Movie Club. Know what you're getting into. I'm not going to go into it right now, but you do get a bunch of free movies when you commit to buying 4 or 5 movies over a 2-year span at full price, meaning $30 on Disney's website. It ends up benefiting you because right off the bat, it ends up benefiting you because you're getting like 5 or 6 free movies, and then it gives you discounts for other exclusives. You could game the system, is what I'm saying. You could even buy stuff that you already have and sell it. That's how you got to do these kind of things. Anyway, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, Disney Movie Club exclusive. Guys, these films on eBay go for like $30, $40, $50. So, that's all I'll say. Now, on Disney Movie Club, especially when you get the 50% off discount once you're a member, if you buy one, you get like 50% off on the rest of them, something like that. I bought one at regular price, and then the rest of them I got for $12.99 or something like that. So all in all, these didn't cost much. These go for $40, $50 brand new on eBay. And I got this for probably, when it's all said and done, around $15. Each of these for $15 when you balance the prices. 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. I also sold my DVD and made even a little bit more extra. So just really good deals on these. I'm so glad to have these. One day I'll do a video showing my collection of these because I have a bunch of them that I've picked up over the years. That is 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. James Mason as Captain Nemo. Kirk Douglas, a very fun, adventurous film. I want to say this or Treasure Island was one of the first live-action Disney movies. Maybe I'm completely off on that. I'll probably pop it up right here. But 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea is great, based on the Jules Verne novel, of course. So it's just a blast. I love any of the Jules Vernean films from this era, 50s, 60s, 70s, and even onward. I just love films based on his work. I've not read any of his work. That's the sad thing. But anyway, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Bueno. Next up, I love this movie. I was so glad to see that Disney announced this on Blu-ray. The Black Hole, which is actually really, really similar to 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. It's Jules Vernian almost mixed with a little bit of H.G. Wells or something, or Arthur C. Clarke. And it's the Black Hole, man. And I say that because Maximilian Schell's character is a lot like Captain Nemo. This is based on 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. I'll go as far as to say that. It is heavily influenced by that story. Anthony Perkins, it's got some comic relief that really doesn't need to be there, honestly, because this is pretty dismal and abysmal for a Disney live-action film. I want to say this came out in '79 and has some really heavy themes, some existential themes about reality and about just getting sucked into this black hole. They're spiraling into this black hole the whole movie, and things are getting weird, and the ending is super 2001 and very bizarre, but very memorable. The Black Hole is just great. Now, I do want to say these Blu-rays are very bare bones. I mean, as bare bones as you can get. They do not, as far as I know, have any special features, which is a shame, but I am grateful that Disney is releasing these so that I could put them into my Blu-ray collection. Sold my DVD off of this, made a few bucks. So these actually probably came out to even less than 15. I want to say like 12 or 13 a piece. Ugh. Love The Black Hole. Can't wait to watch this on the Blue. And last but certainly not least, a film that means more to me now than it really ever has. And that's because, as a lot of you guys may know, my father passed earlier this year in February. I just did a video unboxing his collection. And that movie is a Goofy movie. I know this one used to make me emotional when I was a kid, when I wasn't, when I was a kid growing up in the 90s, 7 years old, 8 years old, whenever this movie came out in the mid-90s. And, the way it makes you feel that disconnection that Max has from Goofy, his father, as he's getting older and more cool and, getting into high school or like late middle school, things like that. And you start to sort of disengage from your parents a little bit and try to distance yourself as much as possible. That is really encapsulated remarkably well in a Goofy movie. And I know it's a Disney animated film, right? But it has these really heavy themes, like a lot of Disney animated films do, and Pixar and things like that, about the reality of a son growing further and further from his father, but them finding each other, finding their love, finding the fact that they could still have a good, healthy relationship moving forward despite their differences and as Max gets older and older. This movie is so special, and I know when I watch it now, now that my father has passed, I know this one's going to affect me very deeply. But I am looking forward to it. I'm so glad it's on Blu-ray. It has some great songs that I still remember to this day. It's been at least a decade and a half, maybe even more since I've seen this. On the open road, I remember that one. And of course, stand out above the crowd, even if you gotta shout out loud. Just memorable songs that you remember the lyrics to, the music, and the bits. It's just so fun. I could quote it, Leaning Tower of Cheesa. Pauly Shore does a voice in this. It is just such a great Disney animated movie, and it was actually their second tier. I don't think this was released in theaters. I could be wrong about that, but I think this was on the tier of like Brave Little Toaster when Disney was doing really good, I'll say, B-side movies to a lot of the stuff that they were releasing in theaters with bigger budgets. A Goofy movie means a lot to me, and I know it's going to mean even more to me the next time I see it. A Goofy movie. And that's going to do it for the movies, guys. But I do have some comics here. Now I have 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6 of this series. Missing number 3. Hopefully I'll be able to track it down. Maybe it'll come into the store at some point. But my good buddy at work, Dennis, put these aside for me and basically gifted them to me. Said, here you go. They're for you. They're not staying. Stay. What are they called? Freddy versus Jason versus Ash. What? Forgive me, guys. I'm new to the comic world, so I didn't even know this existed. He busted this out, and I was like, what? That sounds amazing. I don't even care if the artwork's not that great. It's gotta be so much fun. This is the type of shit I want to see in Hollywood. This would print money. Guys, production companies, split the loot. For God's sake, make it work. People will come out to see these movies, but the thing is, these studios don't want to split the profits because it's all about the dollar bill, y'all. Anyway, my little rant is over. I cannot wait to jump into Freddy vs. Jason vs. Ash, but I do have to have number 3. I could probably find it on eBay pretty easily for pretty cheap, I would imagine. Maybe I'll have to do that because I do want to dig into this. Can't wait to do so. These are single issues, not like a trade paperback or anything like that, or a collected volume. That would be cool to have. If I ever found a collected volume, I'd definitely pick that up and keep these, especially because they were a gift and just because they're friggin' cool, man. I can't wait to check these out. I'll just show you the covers here, which I'm not even seeing, so I can't comment on. But there you go. Actually, you got Jason's mask. I'm just going to look. You got Freddy. And then Ash with the shotgun to Jason's face, and Jason wielding over his head the machete. So awesome. The artwork is pretty cool, at least in terms of the covers. I know sometimes cover artists are different than the interior. But, yep, there you go, Jason and Ash. And we got Freddy. All of them are on each of the covers. You know what? Screw it. Let's open it up. I didn't want to do it because they were bagged and boarded, but I'm going to do it carefully so I could just re-bag and board them. I'm getting all my terminology down. And I don't want to ruin it, so bear with me. I got to check out the artwork. This is going to be a live reaction. I've not seen what the artwork looks like yet. At least the interior artwork. All right, the matchup you've been waiting for. Hell yeah. All right. Whoa! Very colorful. Very well drawn. Very cool. Oh, come on, give me like a full spread. Oh, yeah. Look at that. That looks awesome. I like it. Good action, good kineticism. Let's see. Let's find another, like, good panel. There we go. Ooh, nice and brutal and violent, too. Look at that. Yeah. Very cool. All right, I'm in. That looks awesome. I'm going to put this back in safe and sound. Either way, guys, that is Freddy vs. Jason vs. Ash. I've got one more comic. Let's take a look. And by one comic, I mean 2 comics in the same series, but the same run. I don't know. Anyway, or maybe they're not the same run. Check this out. Ren and Stimpy, number 1. We had $7 on it, 8.5 rough grade, and how awesome is that, guys? The first Ren and Stimpy show comic. This may be the first Ren and Stimpy comic, period. I'm not exactly sure, but I had to get it because it was number 1. And in fact, I have a bunch of the Ren and Stimpy ones that were actually in our 50-cent bin. And so I got those for $0.25, obviously, a piece. So I'm trying to like piece together the run so I could sit down and read these. I'm sure they don't need to be read in order, but still, you know me. And then we have Ren and Stimpy in Space, which was a great episode in the first season. I love that episode. Ren and Stimpy Space Cadets or something like that it's called. Really trippy. Again, 2001 A Space Odyssey inspired kind of themes going on with madness. It's really awesome. As usual, Ren goes absolutely crazy on Stimpy, who was just so oblivious to the world. This is my favorite show of all time, by the way, Ren and Stimpy. Favorite animated show of all time. Maybe my favorite show, period, of all time. And then we have Ren and Stimpy in Space, number 5. Again, rated an 8. $4 on it. I got it for $2. This one I got for $3.50. I get 50% off. And you know what? Let's crack this open. I really don't want to do this, but I'm going to do it because I've got to see the artwork, and I've got to show you guys. It's going to be very careful, so bear with me. All right, let's take a look here together. Let's open. Oh, yeah. Oh, beautiful color. Look at how white the pages are and how vibrant the color still is. That's awesome, guys. Let's see. Let's get a nice full panel. Yeah. Take a look at that. Beautiful. Can't wait. Oh, the color is just jumping off the page. Beautiful. All right, I'm putting it back. Putting it back. Very cool. Very excited to have Ren and Stimpy Show #1. I just want to thank you all for checking out this latest episode of What's in the Bag. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And again, I'd love to know what you guys have picked up, so feel free to leave that down in the comments below, and we'll get a little discussion rolling. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up, and if you're new to the channel and want to see more videos like it, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, as well as the little bell for notifications. And I do have t-shirts now, guys. Link is in the description. Feel free to take a look at my store, which has like 4 items. I plan to add more to it, but take a look there, see if anything suits your fancy. I also have a Patreon that I started, put a lot of work into tearing it out and everything, but I finally made it live a few weeks ago. Thank you to my 2 supporters as of right now. I really, really appreciate it. Can't tell you how much it means to me that people are supporting my work in that way on Patreon. So feel free to check out the link in the description below. Any support means more than words to me. Thank you guys. Anyway, I will see you all next time. Bored Cyborg is out. Peace! I got no legs.